A protocol is a set of rules and guidelines for communicating data. So rules are defined for each step and process during communication between two or more computers. A communications protocol is a formal description of message formats and the rules for exchanging those messages. So a protocol is a format that is agreed to transfer between two devices. Networks have to follow this rule to successfully transmit data. Here are some examples of the protocols. Okay, for example, hypertext transfer protocol, internet protocol, file transfer protocol, simple mail transfer protocol, post office protocol, network news file transfer protocol, and transmission control protocol. Usually, this transmission control protocol used together with internet protocol. So these protocols are like a common language for computers. The computers within a network may use vastly different software and hardware. However, the use of protocols enables them to communicate with each other. Similar to how two people from different parts of the world may not understand each other's native language, but they can communicate using a shared third language. So if one computer uses the internet protocol and a second computer does as well, so they will be able to communicate. Let's see the first protocol, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. HTTP is an acronym for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, literally a protocol used to transfer hypertext. So Hypertext Transfer Protocol is the set of rules that allows web documents to be transferred from a computer that hosts the website or web server so that we can see the website on the computer using a browser, which is why every URL that we type into a web browser start with HTTP. So whenever we visit a page on the web, the computer uses the Hypertext Transfer Protocol to download that page from another computer somewhere on the internet. For example, http://www.uum.edu.my. So the addresses of the website begin with the prefix http://. However, web browsers typically default to the HTTP protocol. There is another protocol similar to HTTP that transport information between a web browser and a web server, but in secure form. This protocol is HTTPS. Okay, the protocol HTTPS or Secure Hypertext Transport Protocol, which is the encrypted versions of Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So this protocol is used to access a secure web server. When HTTPS is used as the prefix of a web address, the session is managed by a security protocol and the transmission is encrypted to and from the web server. A web browser is a program or software application that provide access to web resources. So when a user requests a web page from a particular website, the web browser retrieves the necessary content from a web server and then displays the page on the user's device. Users use web browser for retrieving, for presenting, and traversing information resources on the World Wide Web. So it allows users to explore, okay, to locate, to view, and to navigate the web. So a web browser takes us anywhere on the internet. It retrieves information from other parts of the web and displays on our desktop or mobile device. So the information is transferred using the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which defines how text, images, and video are transmitted on the web. So a browser let us visit websites and do activities within them. For example, like log in, we can view multimedia, we can link from one site to another, or we can visit one page from another, we can print the document, the web page, we can save, and we can receive email, among many other activities. So a web browser can have a graphical user interface, meaning that they can display picture or they can display graphics or they can display images in addition to text and other forms of multimedia such as sound or audio and video, for example like Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, Apple Safari, Microsoft Edge, and Opera, or it just can be a text-based web browser. Okay, for example like Link or Links. Let's see some history of the web browser. So the first web browser was invented in 1990 by Tim Berners-Lee. So this web browser was called as World Wide Web in one word. Okay, please not to be confused with the World Wide Web, 3 words. Okay, and then later renamed to Nexus. Okay, so this is to differentiate from the actual word World Wide Web. So this was the only browser and the only way to access the web during these years. And in 1992, Lynx LYNX was created as a text-based browser that couldn't display any graphic content. It's only text-based. And in 1993, Mark Andreessen innovated Mosaic, later changed to Netscape. So this is the world's first popular web browser. And in 1994, okay, the improvement to Mosaic, it came Netscape Navigator. Then Microsoft responded with Internet Explorer in year 1995. And the Opera was released in 1996, even though Opera started a research project in 1994 that finally went public 2 years later. Apple Safari browser was released in 2003 specifically for Macintosh computers instead of Navigator. In 2004, Mozilla Firefox 1.0, okay, this one is free and made open source, was released. And in year 2007, Mobile Safari was introduced as Apple's mobile web browser and continues to dominate the Apple operating system market, iOS. Okay, and Google's Chrome was first released in September 2008 and take over the browser market. In 2001, Opera Mini was released to focus on the fast-growing mobile browser market, and in 2015, the Microsoft Edge was born to combat or to compete with Google. Okay, most major web browsers have these user interface elements in common. Okay, if you take a look on the web browser, okay, I take a look on the uh, okay, the web browser over here, Google Chrome. Okay, it contains the back and forward button. This is the back button, this is the forward button. So this button is used to go back to the previous, okay, resource and forward respectively. And there is also a refresh or reload button. So this is a refresh or reload button to reload the current resource. And some browser contain the stop button. Okay, you can see there is a stop button, the X. This is the stop button to cancel the loading the resource. Okay, so in some browsers the stop button is merged with the reload button. So this one you can see the stop button here is merged together with the reload button. And there is also a home button to return to the user's homepage. So you can see this is the home button. Okay, so we can use this one to go to the home button. So my home button for this browser is the Google. Okay, so this is the Google. Okay, so now we go back to the UUM website. And there is an address bar. So this is over here, you can see this is the address bar to input the URL. So here you can find the URL, Uniform Resource Locator. And we can also display the URL over here. And then a search bar. Okay, a search bar is to input terms into a search engine. So in some browsers, for example in Google Chrome's, okay, the search bar is merged with the address bar. So for example, we want to search about computer. So we just type computer over here and then press enter. So this address bar is also considered as a search bar. And at the bottom there is a okay status bar to display progress in loading the resource, and also the URL of links when the cursor, okay, you can see at the bottom over here, okay, on the left monitor over here. When I put this one, you can see www.uum.edu.my. Okay, so actually this is on the status bar. So the URL of links, okay, is shown when the cursor hover over the link. So Campus Live, you can see Campus Live about us, okay, at the bottom there. And major browsers also possess incremental find features to search within a web page. Okay, this one we can use Control F to search. Okay, for example, we want to search about undergrad. Okay, undergraduate. So over here under GR, then there is only one talking about undergraduate is over here. Okay, so for example, if I go to this one, okay, so okay, wait, let me see if we have a lot of things to talk about. Campus Life, and we want to talk about the attraction. So this is the attraction. If you want to search for something like sorry, control F. Okay, so control F is for find features. Okay, so you want to search for student if there is a student there. Okay, so there will be two results about students. Okay, one is over here. Where is it? Cannot find the student here. Okay, so it will be this find features, okay, built in inside the web browser. Okay, and also another feature of web browser is tab browsing. Okay, tab browsing creates multiple browsing sessions within the same browser window. So it allows us to open and view multiple web pages in a single web browser windows. Okay, for example, this Google Chrome, we can see several tab browsing. Okay, so this is a page about the Google Drive. This is about the UUM online learning. This is about the WhatsApp. Okay, this is on Unimap web page. This is about Grand Canyon web page. This is about the website of the UUM, and this is the website of Expert. So on top of here, you can see a tab browsing. Okay, the features of the Google Chrome. So the example of web browser I'll show you. Okay, so we have the Google Chromes. Okay, and also have the this is the Microsoft Edge. Okay, I also have the Microsoft Firefox. Okay, and also have the Internet Explorer. So these are the example of the web browser. Okay, about the web browser usage. Okay, let's see the statistic. Okay, today's statistic about the what types of web browser is being used nowadays. Okay, the most popular web browsers. Web browser usage statistic. Okay, so this is in May 2021. Okay, we can see over here in May 2021. Okay, or using the graph over here, we can see that the Chrome, okay, Google Chrome, take the highest percentage, 63.58% market share. Okay, this is in November 2020, and then followed by Safari, Firefox, Samsung Internet, Microsoft Edge, Opera, okay, UC browser, Internet Explorer, Android, and the other. Okay, so this is usually the Google Chrome is the most popular web browsers nowadays. Okay, so if you see over here, so there are Chrome, Safari, Microsoft Edge, and Firefox. Search engines are now part of our daily life. Okay, whether it be carrying out research or to find the location. People are now becoming more and more dependent on search engines to get the answer for their everyday queries. So a web search engine is a searching facility designed to search for information on the World Wide Web. So it helps user to get information with fast and easy. The search results are usually presented in a list of results that are commonly called hits. Okay, the information may consist of web pages, images, information, and other types of files. So example of popular search engine include like Google, Yahoo, Hotbot, Excite, Lycos, Ask.com, Bing, and etc. If we look at the major web search engine, here are the top search engines in the world ranked by popularity in year 2021, this year. Okay, so the most is Google 60%, and then followed by Yahoo 17%, and then by uh, MSN 13%. Okay, we have also Bing, Baidu, Yandex, DuckDuckGo, Ask.com, Ecosia, American Online, Internet Archive, and so on. So you can search major web search engine inside the Google. Okay, major web search engine over here. 12 best search engine: Google, okay, Bing, Yahoo, Baidu, American Online. Okay. Okay, similarly, the best search engine in the world: Google, Bing, Baidu, Yahoo, and even though they are from different websites. Next is about web publishing. Web publishing is the process of publishing original content on the internet. So the process includes building and uploading website, updating the associated web pages, and posting content to these web pages online. So web publishing comprises of personal, business, and community websites in addition to electronic books and blogs. So web publishing uses a software to help user to develop web page, edit and publish to internet and intranet. So they are edited using 4 broad categories of software. Okay, we can use text editor such as Notepad, or can use text edit where content and hypertext markup language are manipulated directly within the editor program. Or we can use what you see is what you get offline editors, for example like Microsoft FrontPage, or we can use the Adobe Dreamweaver, okay, previously known as Macromedia Dreamweaver, with which the site is edited using a graphical user interface, and the final hypertext markup language is generated automatically by the editor software. Or we can also use what you see is what you get online editor that create media rich online presentation like web pages, widgets, intro, blogs, and other documents. Or we can use the template based editor, for example like Rapid Weaver or iWeb, that allows user to quickly create and upload web pages to a web server without detailed hypertext markup language knowledge. Okay, as they pick a suitable template from a palette and add pictures and text to it in desktop publishing fashion without direct manipulations of hypertext markup language code. So web page can be created in number of ways. Okay, we can use the plain text editor, for example like Notepad. So using this plain text editor, we need to write the hypertext markup language code. Cool. Or we can use what you see is what you get editor. Okay, this is called as a web authoring tool, for example like Microsoft FrontPage or Macromedia Dreamweaver. And another one, we can use online template such as Wix, WordPress, or Blogspot. HTML stand for hypertext markup language. So HTML is the standard markup language for creating web pages. It was first created by Tim Berners-Lee and Robert Kaileau and others starting in year 1989. So a markup language is a set of rules for marking up blocks of text so that a browser knows how to display them. Hypertext markup language describe the structure of a web page. So this HTML consists of a series of elements. Okay, these HTML elements tell the browser how to display the content. Okay, hypertext markup language elements label pieces of content such as this is a heading, this is a paragraph, this is a link, and etc. So it uses to develop hypertext document in a world wide web or the intranet. And this language will determine connection between web pages and view form of a web page. So this is an example of the hypertext markup language document. Okay, you can see the code over there. Okay, HTML, okay, in bracket. Okay, in bracket head, okay, consists of meta name over here, title. Okay, there is an opening and closing tab over here. And similarly for the head, okay, this is a start up tag and this is the end tag. Okay, so this is the example. And here is another example. Okay, we can see the Grand Canyon over here. Okay, view page source. So this is an example of the hypertext markup language coding as well. Okay, so these are all the codes related to the hypertext markup language. Okay, this is another example. Okay, now let us do some exercise. Okay, we want to write the hypertext markup language code. What we need is a text editor or example the notepad. Okay, so open the notepad. So this is my notepad. Okay, and type the following code into your file and then save as index.html. So I copy this one, okay, and then open the notepad. So this is my notepad. Then I write this hypertext markup language. Okay, and then I save this file, save as, and then choose the where do you want to save. Okay, so this PC under this device C. Okay, I would save it as under test. Okay, it asks you to write index. Okay, index, but I just put some numbers over here, then put HTML. Okay, and then I save. Okay, please choose another location. Oh, why I cannot save this one? C. Okay, as a C. Okay, over here, save index1.html. In document. Oh, I cannot save it over here. I do not know why. Let's see if I can save under document. Save. Okay, and then after that, open the browser to view your page. Okay, so I will open the browser. This is the browser, and I have to take a look on where is my file. Okay, so my file is under document and setting, and should look for index 1. Okay, wow, because it have so many files over here. Let's see, users, this PC. Okay, why users? Should use users. I should use C. Let me see. So this one might not work. I should go back. Okay, file, save as, and then look for this PC is users. Okay, public. index.1, save. Okay, let's try one more time. Okay, see users, public and index1. So this is the one that I type. Okay, hello world. Okay, similarly, this is the one. Okay, so over here, you can see the title, my first page, my first web page over here. So this is the title, my first web page. And the body here is hello world. Okay, it's over there. Okay, so let's continue. So this is what similarly my first web page. Okay, hello world. And then we want to add some more over here. Okay, the reference. Okay, the hyperlinks to uum.edu.my. So just copy this one. Okay, and then save this one. Control A, Control V. Then file, save as index 2. Okay, just want to put it index 2. Save. Okay, and then we can call it again. So this is index 1 and we should choose index 2 instead. So press enter. Then this is what you see. Hello world. Okay, so now hello world is in H1. This is the heading one, the size of the font, the characters hello world. Okay, so it should be center. This is center. And then below there is a BR. This is line spacing. And then there is a reference. This is the attribute www.um.edu.my. So when we click this one, it will go to the website of UUM. Okay, so this is the exercise that you need to do. You can try it later on. Okay, so this is what you see the result. Okay, so you can see in the hello world in the middle, and then there is a link of UUM website. So as we already know, hypertext markup language is the markup language. HTML is the markup language. And a markup language is a way that computers speak to each other to control how text is processed and presented. To do this, HTML uses two things, tag and attributes. So tags and attributes are the basis of hypertext markup language. Tags are used to mark up the start of HTML element, and they are usually enclosed in angle brackets. So an example of a tag is like HTML. Okay, bracket in HTML. So HTML tags most commonly come in pairs like H1 and slash H1. Okay, and most tag must be open. For example, H1 is the open and slash H1 is a close in order to function. So the first tag in a pair is the start tag, and the second tag is the end tag. So this one is also called as opening tags and closing tags. In between these tags, web designers can add tags, another tags, comments, and other types of text-based contents. And HTML attributes contain additional pieces of information. So these attributes take the form of an opening tag and additional info is placed inside. Okay, an example of an attribute is like image src equal to my dog.jpg alt a photo of my dog. So in this instant or in this example, the image source src and the alternate text are attributes of the image tag. Okay. Okay, let us see some of the hypertext markup language code element. Okay, so the HTML. So this is the root element of the HTML document. It marks the beginning and the end of an HTML document. And from here on, we are going to write in hypertext markup language code. and all other elements are contained inside this. The head, this is the container for processing information and metadata for hypertext markup language document. This is where stuff mostly mean for search engine and other computer programs. Body, this is where the content of the page goes. So it is the container for the displayable content of an hypertext markup language document. For example, the word hello before. Title, this is where we define a document title or insert the page name as it will appear at the top of the browser window or tab. So web browsers usually display it in a Windows title bar when the window is open. H1, H2, H3, H4 and so on. These are the section headings at different levels. Center, this one is a create block level. It should be a center align. A, this is an anchor element that used to anchor a URL to some text. Okay, for example, the hyperlinks. P is to create a paragraph. BR is to force a line break. And IMG is used for visual user agents to insert image. IMG is an image. So the CRC attribute specifies the image URL. Okay, the one of the previous example that I showed. So the web files category include files related to websites and web server. These include static and dynamic web pages, web applications, and file referenced by web pages. So the files generated by web development software are also included in this category. So the common web file extension include HTML or HTML, PHP, ASP, CGI, JSP, or CSS. Okay, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, PHP for Personal Homepage, ASP Active Server Pages, CGI Common Gateway Interface, JSP Java Server Pages, or CSS Cascading Style Sheet. So the default web page file name is called as index. Okay, for example, index.html or index.jsp or index.cgi or index.php. Okay, so an index page is the web page that appears when someone visits the top level of your website without specifying a particular file name. For example, if someone visit http://www.example.com, the web server will need to choose a default page because the URL address doesn't include a file name. The way a web server chooses a default page to display is simple. When it receives a request that doesn't include a file name, it constructs a list of default file names such as index.html, index.php, index.asp, and so forth, and display the first matching file it finds. An example. Okay, let's see. We go back to our UUM homepage. So this is the UUM homepage. We go back to the homepage of the UUM, the first page. Okay, when we enter the first page or the homepage of UUM, you cannot find any files associated with it. So actually inside here there is a files named index, but we do not know what types of index files over there. It can be the index CGI, it can be index HTML, it can be index CSS, and so on. So actually this is the index.php. Okay, so you can see similar. Either we use the index.php or we don't put the index.php. It's still the same. Okay, actually it contains the index, but it is hidden. It's not being seen. It's just default. Okay, if you don't put any file name after the domain name, then the browser will look for the index file. So either the index.html, index.php, ASP, CGI, JSP, or CSS. Okay, so that's all.